Welcome back to Who Died Today, where we honor the stars who left a lasting mark on the entertainment world. Today, we're diving into the lives and legacies of 5 unforgettable talents who passed away on October 13th. From a Hollywood heartthrob, whose mysterious personal life still sparks intrigue, to a TV kingmaker who revolutionized the industry, these icons shaped the world of entertainment in ways you may not even know. But trust me, the story behind our pick is going to blow your mind. It's filled with drama, controversy, and a legacy that changed music forever. So stick around to find out which legendary figure tops our list today. Before we jump in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell for more tributes to the stars who shaped our culture. You won't want to miss a single second of these jaw-dropping stories. Number 5. Nils Aster. Let's kick things off with the mysterious and captivating Nils Aster, the Swedish-born silent film star who took Hollywood by storm. Born on January 17, 1897, in Copenhagen, Denmark, Aster's journey to stardom was anything but conventional. Nicknamed the male Greta Garbo, Aster's brooding good looks and intense screen presence made him a heartthrob of the silent era. But here's a juicy tidbit that many don't know: Aster was actually Garbo's neighbor in Sweden before they both made it big in Hollywood. Talk about a small world, right? Now let's address the elephant in the room. Aster's personal life was shrouded in controversy. Despite being married to Vivian Duncan from 1930 to 1932, rumors about his sexuality persisted throughout his career. In fact, his autobiography, published posthumously, confirmed that he was indeed bisexual. Can you imagine the bravery it took to be true to himself in those less accepting times? Aster's career took a nosedive with the advent of talkies due to his thick accent. But did you know that he spent countless hours with a speech coach, determined to make a comeback? His perseverance paid off, and he continued to work in films and television until the 1950s. One of Aster's most significant contributions to cinema was his role in The Bitter Tea of General Yen, 1933, directed by Frank Capra. This pre-code film was groundbreaking in its exploration of interracial romance, a taboo subject at the time. Aster's nuanced portrayal of General Yen challenged stereotypes and pushed the boundaries of what was acceptable in Hollywood. His performance in this film continues to be studied by film historians as an example of complex character portrayal in early cinema. One of Aster's most memorable quotes comes from his later years: "I may have lost my accent, but I never lost my passion for the craft." This dedication earned him a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1960, a testament to his enduring legacy. Sadly, Nils Aster left us on October 13, 1981, at the age of 84, due to complications from diabetes, but his contributions to cinema, particularly his unforgettable performances in films like The Bitter Tea of General Yen, continue to inspire actors to this day. Number 4. Jean Peters. Next up, we have the enigmatic Jean Peters, a woman whose life was as dramatic off-screen as it was on. Born Elizabeth John Peters on October 15, 1926, in Canton, Ohio, she went from small-town girl to Hollywood starlet in the blink of an eye. But here's where things get really interesting. Jean's life took a turn straight out of a spy novel when she married the eccentric billionaire Howard Hughes in 1957. Yes, that Howard Hughes. Their relationship was so secretive that for years, many people didn't even know they were married. Now, I bet you're wondering about Howard Hughes. Well, this aviation tycoon and film producer was known for his brilliant mind, but also for his increasingly erratic behavior and reclusiveness. His relationship with Jean was tumultuous, to say the least, and they divorced in 1971. Despite being married to one of the most powerful men in America, Jean's own accomplishments often went unrecognized. Did you know that she was an accomplished painter? Her artwork, which she created under a pseudonym, has been exhibited in galleries across California. Interestingly, her artistic talents were only publicly acknowledged after her death, adding an air of mystery to her already intriguing life story. Jean's acting career, while relatively short, was full of memorable performances. She starred opposite Marlon Brando in Viva Zapata and gave a knockout performance in Pickup on South Street. But here's a little-known fact: Jean almost quit acting altogether after her first film, Captain from Castile, because she found the Hollywood lifestyle overwhelming. Speaking of Pickup on South Street, Jean's portrayal of Candy is often cited as one of the best noir performances of the era. Her ability to bring depth and vulnerability to a character who could have easily been a stereotype showcased her versatility as an actress. Film critic Roger Ebert once said of her performance, "Peters brings a raw energy to the role that elevates the entire film." One of Jean's most poignant quotes comes from an interview late in her life: "I never wanted to be a movie star. I just wanted to be a good actress." This humble attitude, combined with her undeniable talent, earned her the respect of her peers and a dedicated fan base. After retiring from acting, Jean became a schoolteacher, further demonstrating her commitment to making a positive impact beyond the silver screen. She was known to occasionally use her Hollywood experiences as teaching tools, much to the delight of her students. Sadly, Jean Peters left us on October 13, 2000, at the age of 73, after a battle with leukemia. Her legacy lives on not just through her films, but through the Jean Peters Scholarship for Performing Arts at her alma mater, Ohio State University. Number 3. Benaderet. Now let's turn our attention to the queen of voice acting in sitcoms, the incomparable Benaderet. Born on April 4, 1906, in New York City, Bee's journey to stardom was as unique as her distinctive voice. You might know Bee as the original voice of Betty Rubble on the Flintstones or as cousin Pearl Bodine on the Beverly Hillbillies, but did you know that she was also a pioneering female radio personality? In the 1930s, when women were rarely heard on the airwaves, Bee was making waves with her quick wit and versatile voice. Bee's work on the Flintstones was particularly groundbreaking. As the voice of Betty Rubble, she was part of the first prime-time animated show on American television. Her distinctive voice helped shape the character of Betty, making her a beloved figure for generations of fans. Bee's ability to bring warmth and humor to animated characters paved the way for future voice actresses in the industry. But Bee's talents weren't limited to animation. Her role as Kate Bradley on Petticoat Junction helped establish her as a sitcom icon. The show, which ran for 7 seasons, was one of the cornerstones of CBS's rural comedy lineup in the 1960s. Bee's portrayal of the hardworking, no-nonsense hotel owner resonated with audiences across America, particularly women who saw themselves reflected in her character. Bee's personal life was just as fascinating as her career. She was married twice, first to actor Jim Bannon and then to sound effects artist Eugene Toombley. Her second marriage lasted until her death, proving that true love can indeed be found in Hollywood. Now let's talk about controversy. Believe it or not, Bee was at the center of a minor scandal in the 1950s when she was fired from the George Burns and Gracie Allen show after 8 years. The reason? She had the audacity to ask for a raise. This incident wasn't just about Bee, it reflected the broader struggles women faced in Hollywood at the time. Despite her talent and popularity, Bee, like many women in the industry, had to fight for fair compensation and recognition. Bee's colleague and friend, Lucille Ball, once said of her, Bee was one of those rare performers who could do it all. She could make you laugh, she could make you cry, and she could do it all with just her voice. This quote perfectly encapsulates Bee's incredible range and talent. One of Bee's most inspiring quotes comes from an interview she gave near the end of her life in this business. You have to have a sense of humor about yourself. If you can't laugh at yourself, you're in the wrong profession. This attitude helped her navigate the ups and downs of showbiz with grace and humor. Tragically, Benaderet left us too soon on October 13, 1968, at the age of 62, after a brave battle with lung cancer. Her final appearance on Petticoat Junction aired just 8 days before her death, a testament to her dedication to her craft until the very end. Number 2. Clifton Webb. As we near the top of our list, we come to the incomparable Clifton Webb, a man whose wit was as sharp as his impeccable style. Born Webb Parmalee Hollenbeck on November 19, 1889, in Indianapolis, Indiana, Clifton's path to stardom was as unique as his name. Now hold on to your hats, because I'm about to drop a bombshell. Clifton Webb didn't make his film debut until he was 54 years old. That's right. This late bloomer took Hollywood by storm with his Oscar-nominated performance in Laura in 1944. Talk about proving it's never too late to follow your dreams. But Clifton's journey to Hollywood stardom began long before his film debut. He was already a celebrated performer on Broadway and in Paris. His stage career spanned over 3 decades, during which he showcased his talents as an actor, dancer, and singer. In fact, he was known for his impeccable ballroom dancing, often partnering with the legendary Fred Astaire's sister, Adele Aster. Clifton's transition to film was nothing short of spectacular. His portrayal of the acerbic columnist Waldo Lydecker in Laura earned him his first Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor. This role set the tone for many of his future performances, establishing him as the go-to actor for sophisticated, often snobbish characters with a razor-sharp wit. But it was his role as Lynn Belvedere in Sitting Pretty 1948 that truly cemented his place in Hollywood history. This performance earned him another Oscar nomination and spawned 2 sequels. Clifton's portrayal of the prim and proper Belvedere, who takes on the role of a live-in babysitter, was both hilarious and groundbreaking. It challenged gender norms of the time and showcased Clifton's ability to bring depth and humor to what could have been a one-note character. Clifton's personal life was the subject of much speculation throughout his career. He never married and lived with his mother, Mabel, until her death at the age of 91. Their close relationship led to many rumors, but Clifton always maintained that his mother was his best friend and biggest supporter. Here's a juicy bit of gossip that's not widely known. Clifton was part of a secret Hollywood gay subculture in the 1920s and 1930s. While he never publicly came out, many of his close friends acknowledged his sexuality after his death. In the coded language of old Hollywood, Clifton was often described as a confirmed bachelor, a term used to hint at a person's homosexuality without explicitly stating it. Despite the controversies surrounding his personal life, Clifton's talent was undeniable. He received a 3rd Oscar nomination for The Razor's Edge in 1946. His co-star in that film, Gene Tierney, once said of him, "Clifton Webb was the ultimate professional. He brought an elegance and wit to every role that was uniquely his own." One of Clifton's most memorable quotes showcases his razor-sharp wit. "I have no patience with those who say that I do not portray a typical American. I am a typical American. I was born in this country. I have lived in it, and like thousands of other men, I have had to work hard for a living." This unapologetic attitude endeared him to fans and critics alike. Clifton Webb left us on October 13, 1966, at the age of 76, due to a heart attack. His last film, Satan Never Sleeps, was released in 1962, but his impact on Hollywood continues to be felt to this day. In fact, his former home in Beverly Hills is now a historical landmark. Number 1. Ed Sullivan. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the top of our list, the one, the only, Ed Sullivan. Born Edward Vincent Sullivan on September 28, 1901, in Harlem, New York City, Ed would go on to become one of the most influential figures in American entertainment history. Let's start with a mind-blowing fact. The Ed Sullivan Show ran for 23 years, from 1948 to 1971, making it one of the longest-running variety shows in TV history. But here's something you might not know. Ed almost turned down the opportunity to host the show because he thought television was just a passing fad. Can you imagine a world without Ed Sullivan on our screens? Now, let's talk about Ed's personal life. He was married to Sylvia Weinstein from 1930 until her death in 1973, truly a Hollywood rarity. Their daughter, Betty, often appeared on his show, making it a family affair. But here's a heartwarming tidbit. Ed and Sylvia were actually high school sweethearts who reconnected years later. Talk about a love story for the ages. Of course, no discussion of Ed Sullivan would be complete without mentioning some controversies. Remember when he censored Elvis Presley's hips in 1956? Or when he initially refused to pay the Beatles their asking price for their first U.S. TV appearance? These decisions sparked nationwide debates and showcased Ed's power in the entertainment industry. But there's more to these stories than meets the eye. Ed's relationship with Elvis, for instance, was complex. Despite the initial censorship, Ed later became one of Elvis's biggest supporters. In fact, after Elvis's third and final appearance on the show, Ed declared him a real decent fine boy. This ability to change his mind and support new forms of music was crucial to Ed's longevity in the industry. As for the Beatles, well, that's a story for the ages. After initially balking at their price, Ed eventually agreed to pay the band $10,000 for 3 appearances, a huge sum at the time. This decision changed the course of music history. The Beatles' first appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show on February 9, 1964, was watched by approximately 73 million viewers, launching the British invasion and cementing Ed's role as a kingmaker in the music industry. But Ed wasn't just about controversies. He was a trailblazer in many ways. Did you know that he was one of the first TV hosts to regularly feature African American performers on his show? At a time when segregation was still rampant, Ed was pushing for equality on the small screen. He featured artists like Nat King Cole, Diana Ross the Supremes, and James Brown, often facing criticism and even threats for doing so. But Ed stood firm, believing that talent should be the only criterion for appearing on his show. Ed's commitment to racial integration wasn't limited to his show. He was known to refuse to stay in hotels that wouldn't accommodate his entire troupe, including African American performers. This stance was not just morally right, but culturally groundbreaking, using the power of television to push for social change. One of Ed's most famous quotes perfectly encapsulates his approach to entertainment: "If you do a good job for others, you heal yourself at the same time." This philosophy led him to introduce America to some of the biggest names in music, comedy, and entertainment. Ed Sullivan left us on October 13, 1974, at the age of 73, due to esophageal cancer. His final public appearance was on The Cher Show in 1973, where he received a standing ovation that lasted several minutes. Even in his final days, Ed was still captivating audiences. In recognition of his contributions to entertainment, Ed Sullivan was awarded a special Tony Award in 1968 and was posthumously inducted into the Television Hall of Fame in 1985. His catchphrase, "Really big shoe," continues to be imitated and celebrated to this day. And there you have it, folks, 5 incredible stars who left us on October 13th, but whose legacies continue to shine bright. From the silent film era to the golden age of television, these icons shaped the entertainment industry in ways we still feel today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more fascinating stories from Hollywood's golden age. Until next time, keep the star in your eyes and the legends in your heart.